Hey, what's up, Lisa? How are you?
Good. How are you, Ron?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you, first of all, for joining me and doing this for me. I guess to start out, for those of the people out there that aren't familiar with your studio and you and what you guys do, let's start by kind of telling a little bit about what you guys are and where you're located and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're a yoga studio, Precision Yoga and Fitness. I am in West Houston area. Prior to that, that yoga studio has been open for about, I would say, almost 2 years now in October. But prior to that, I'm actually a sports chiropractor. And so been there as a chiropractor since 2010. And it just kind of integrated really well with what I already do in my office. We're health and wellness. I'm a sports chiropractor, so we work on physical rehab, exercise therapy, preventative care, just to keep people out of pain. And so along the way, I've realized that I would tell my patients, go try yoga. It would be really good after, their care was completed. And the space opened up next door to my office. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's open up the yoga studio. And that way they can have somewhere that they can actually go to instead of me just blindly sending them out.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit. And I told you once, I wish you were here because I got lower back problems. So,
I know.
so tell the people out there that are watching, how long have you been working with us?
So we've been working with you, I think, since March. Around mid-March is when we started working with your company.
Okay, so March, April, May, June. So a little bit over 3 months.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And can you take a second and describe what was going on with the growth of the studio kind of before you started working with us?
Yeah, sure. So we originally opened the studio. Unfortunately, it was right after Hurricane Harvey hit, was when my landlord handed us the key. And so there was a little bit of downtime with the startup process of our studio. But, as the ball started to get rolling in there, I tried a couple of different marketing companies, and there's always this, oh, we guarantee this, we guarantee that. And I just wasn't seeing the connection being made. We weren't hitting our numbers by any means. There was classes that would run empty, and it was just at this point where it was either make or break with that studio. And so since we've started to work with you and your company, the growth in the 3 months has been more than what I saw in the year prior to not having you there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely exponential growth that we've had. And it's definitely a peace of mind now for me where I don't have to really worry about that studio, and I can go back to my focus on being a chiropractor in my office. So
Right. Well, you covered my next question. I was kind of going to ask you, what had been going on with the growth of your studio since working with us, but you kind of covered that. So what I'd like to start out is talking about some of the appointments. So since you've been working with us, how has like the flow of people coming through your doors changed?
So, before, as far as new patient or new clients go, we were barely seeing them. And that was, I'd run Facebook ads and things like that. But ever since, we started with you, almost every single class of mine there's plenty of people in those classes. And so the number of clientele that we're seeing coming through your process has just dramatically increased. And from there, the conversion rate as far as them becoming members, I'm sure that's, carried on onto that as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So talking about this, the conversion of memberships, let's talk a little bit about the sales process. So tell me a little bit about your sales process before working with us and how that's changed and the differences that we kind of coached you on to kind of help conversion rate increase.
So before, we would do offers here and there where maybe it was first free session, and then it was up to the yoga instructors to say, hey, look, we're going to convert these. And it just wasn't happening. I mean, there was very little conversion rate, the clients were just there for a deal, and they would walk away and go to another place. And so what we did with with the deal that we ran with you was the one week for free. And if they were able to convert that same day, that we would do a 30 for 30, where it was $30 for the whole month. And once they got to that point where they felt, okay, I've already committed to 30 days in this studio, they got to meet the instructors. They got to really feel how just kind of getting a feel for what they were getting out of it. And they were able to make that connection of, okay, I want to make this change and put this into my daily lifestyle. And so we've seen, you know, a lot of conversions coming through, you know, going from that 1 week free just straight into that 30 for 30. We saw a huge increase in those, and a lot of these people have committed to staying back and becoming members of our gym now, or our studio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it broke up a little bit there, but I think we got the gist. So yeah, I mean, it's like really just bringing those people in, letting them experience the studio, showing them some of the different instructors so they can try different people out. I think that's a huge thing. So I'm glad that has made some differences in your business too. So what would you say some of the most exciting things you've found around our process? You know, what are your biggest takeaways?
The first thing would be how simple it is, how simple you make it, the connection. I mean, for business owners, it's so hard to find a company that you can rely on and walk away for a second and just say, hey, look, I'm going to let him or her run this. I found that it was very easy with you, that you were actually on top of getting me to do stuff rather than around, where, you know, most of the companies that I work with, it, like I said before, they guarantee all these big numbers, and yes, we're going to bring this in, and 3 months later, after you spent thousands of dollars and you see zero ROI off of it, you're wondering, what am I, you know, just throwing money out the window. So just the ease of the process, and, you know, taking a couple days of here's what we need to do. And then, you know, from there, just going week by week and just making it easy for us. So.
Yeah, I'm sure I've annoyed the hell out of you before.
No, which is good. I mean, I'm not complaining, considering the fact that we're bringing money into my studio and it's growing. So I can't complain about it by any means.
Well, good. So what would you say to somebody that's thinking about working with us, but they're kind of on the fence? What would you say to them?
I would definitely, this is hands down the best decision I've made for my yoga studio thus far. So anyone that's hesitant, again, you know, going back to other companies that do guarantee, you know, this is a totally different experience. It is definitely a guaranteed satisfaction out of working with you. So don't hesitate to do it. This is definitely money well spent.
Thank you for that. That's awesome. So are there any last words you'd like to say to anybody out there watching the video before we jump off the call?
I'm very happy again with everything that you guys have done for us. It's been a very, you know, it got a little stressful there right before I did, you know, with your company. And it was one of those things where, again, make or break, and this has really gotten me to feel more confident about my business, and just having that yoga studio there with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for doing this, and I will probably talk to you very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yep.